back to Very Venture China. Chinese tea ceremony, guys. Today, as I promised to you, yeah, drinking pu'er tea outside. Splendid. I wish I would be sitting somewhere in the hot Guangzhou, in the city center, but today, yeah, it is what it is. Life requires a lot of traveling and, yeah, international business, so that's what we are doing. But yeah, thanks to the tea from Guangzhou, the part of China is always with me, so this is a great thing. Hi there, dear adventurers, and welcome back to Very Venture China. Here I am, Dennis Richard, and today we are diving into a fascinating world of the Chinese tea ceremonies. Get ready to uncover the rich history, captivating traditions, and some mind-blowing facts about various types of tea. So today I'm drinking pu'er tea with you guys. We go together into one of China's most cherished customs. So without further ado, let's embark on this flavorful adventure together. Cheers! Kanbei! Oh, guys, first let me kindly remind you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos about China and doing business in China, or making business between Europe and China, to be more precise. Now we're ready to start. Bang! Rolling business. It's extremely important, tremendously important. I cannot stress even more on tea ceremonies in China. In Europe, we often meet informally at restaurants for lunch, or something, drink coffee quickly, like a couple of minutes, 15 minutes is enough. However, in China, business culture takes a different route, guys. So you're invited to the office. So first of all, right, for a quick handshake, and then your Chinese partner would invite you to tea ceremony. So you will be invited to select a nearby restaurant based on your food preferences. They will ask about your allergies and stuff. But after the meal, it's back to the office. You're back to the office together with the owner for a delightful cup of Chinese tea. But guys, not one cup of tea. It's not like in Europe you drink from big cups. They're much smaller, of course. So you drink dozens of cups of the tea, right? And guys, it's must have. Most Chinese business people, they have various tea tables at the offices. It's so beautiful, actually. So, and then you're gonna spend several hours drinking tea and discussing your life, the business, how you will become rich together, how you will make rich each other, right? So you're gonna discuss all of those topics while you're sitting in the office and drinking tea. So guys, it's a must-have. So most Chinese business people, they have Chinese table in the business office, in their office, right? Or they have even a separate room for the tea ceremony at the office. So this is just incredible, guys. It's totally different from what we have here in Europe. You would never have that. Unless you're into Chinese culture or you're a Chinese guy who is making business in Europe. So then you might have a specially dedicated table for that, or a room for drinking tea. History. Guys, let me share an extraordinary legend with you guys. So way back in 2732, before Christ was born, the Emperor Shen Nong was chilling in his garden under a camellia sinus tree, sipping hot water. Hot water, it's very healthy, but it's not that delicious and that tasteful. So by total chance, a leaf fell into his cup, and boom, voila, he realized that water became fragrant and flavorful. And that's how the whole tea drinking culture began, as we said, right? So at first, tea was all about its health perks, and it's been around for almost 5,000 years in China. And mainly as an herbal remedy used by monks in temples, they believed that tea represented respect for nature and brought a sense of peace. In fact, the spirit of the Chinese tea ceremony is described as He, Jing, Yi, and Zhen, which means peace, tranquility, enjoyment, and truth. Over time, people started using tea for health and enjoying it in everyday life. and tea ceremonies were held at royal celebrations and in the homes of regular people as well. The first writings about the tea ceremonies appeared during the Tang Dynasty over 1,200 years ago, so calling them Cha Dao, or the way of tea. And between the 4th and 8th centuries, tea exploded in popularity in China. That was just crazy. That was a trend back then, right? No longer just for medicine purpose, right? So people just loved it, and as a refreshment, they used it as a pleasure, right? So as tea plantations grew, merchants got rich, filthy rich, and fancy tea wares became a status symbol. Eventually, the tea cultivation spread and around different religions and started producing unique varieties, and leading to the 6 types we know today: white, green, yellow, oolong, black, and pu'er tea that I'm drinking right now. And each has its own benefits. That's cool, right, guys? Let's talk about traditions. Tea is an everyday beverage consumed by Chinese people, and many families have a tea ceremony at least once a week, right? So, especially in wealthier and middle-class homes. But there are certain times when it's pretty just a must-have, right? The tea ceremony. Paying respect. In China, people really honor their elders, so their ancestors. So serving tea to older folks is a way to show them your respect. And get this, sometimes the elders will serve tea to the younger ones to return the gesture, right? To pay the respect, to pay you back a favor, yeah, right? So it's like a sort of a team building, I would say. And you know, a quiet ceremony in a family circle, it's beyond the romantic. It's actually really a team building. So you become closer with your family members. Kids who move out away make it a point to visit their parents for a tea ceremony. For instance, children who move out always make it a point to visit to their parents, and they do it over and over again. So they do a point like to come over to their parents to have a nice tea ceremony together. So get together with the family. And this is a really cool thing that we should also unite with our elderly people, with our family members, with our parents and grandparents. And guys, literally, I love and admire this tradition. We should all do this in honor of wedding. And guys, believe me, but no wedding celebration in China is complete without a tea ceremony. So the bride and the groom actually serve tea to their parents, and they want to thank them for everything they have done to them. So all the good deeds paid and said thank you and admired with a cup of tea. And when sharing experience and wisdom, the older folks share their life lessons and secrets over teacups, right? Help keep traditions alive as a sign of apology. If someone needs to apologize, having a tea together can be a way to smooth things over. So tea in China isn't just a drink. It's a part of life and relationships, guys. Utensils. Alright, so after learning about history and traditions, I want to share some information regarding utensils. First, we have the chamban, which is basically a low wooden tea table. It's a simple yet elegant and comes with tea bowl, bamboo whisk, and scoop. Sometimes there is even a nice flower arrangement. Guests can relax on tatami mats around the table while the host carefully prepares and serves the tea. Gaiwan. Gaiwan is covered bowl that's really popular for brewing tea. It's usually made of porcelain, earthenware, or glazing clay, which means it won't affect the taste, making it perfect for tasting different types of tea. Chai. Lastly, there is the chai, or sea of the tea, also known as the Gongdao Bei, or justice cup. It mixes the tea and serves in the cups, ensuring everyone gets the same flavor and strength of the tea. Indeed, a cup of justice. Chahu, or teapot. Most of the folk use smaller ones that are perfect for steeping multiple times. The material you pick really matters. If you're brewing white tea, or let's go for a grass teapot. For green tea, white porcelain is the way to go. Lightly fermented oolongs taste amazing in white or rookie in porcelain. And if you love pu'er tea or red tea or roasted oolongs, grab a purple clay teapot from Yixing or some purine clay from Taiwan. And guys, here a tip for you. Once you start using a pot for a specific tea, stick with it. The clay absorbs the tea flavor and switching could mess up the taste totally. So that would be a mistake for you to do that. Cha bei. Now onto the cha bei or teacup. These little guys, also known as tea tasting cups, are super small guys. Not like that. I'm drinking right now, right? It's just for camping, so to say. And typically don't have handles. You only fill them about 80%, so they're easier to lift without burning your hands or spilling. Cha jia. Lastly, we have cha jia or tea tongs. Before serving, you should heat the cups in hot water or clean them a little bit. And that's where the tongs come in. They help you to grab those hot cups and safely put them on a tray without burning your fingers. Preparing for the Chinese tea ceremony and the process itself. To show you the real Chinese tea ceremony, I went to Thai Tea at the main tea market, Chinese chain of tea boutiques.
Shop is right here. We started from here.
And the second place was the garden in the heart of Guangzhou, the most fascinating tea places, guys, I have seen in my entire life. So, firstly, we started when Simon's uncle and the shop owner told me the history of Thai tea, how it all developed, and why pu'er tea is so expensive.
From the 1940s.
Now, in the 1940s, Mr. Fan He-jun, he's the first chairman of the factory.
So friends, let's talk about water. If you want to brew a great cup of tea, the type of water really matters. Soft water, low in minerals, just doesn't cut it. So that's why spring water, sourced deep from the earth, is the go-on and go-to for authentic Chinese tea. And when brewing, the water must be boiled in a special kettle and heated to the right temperature once. For example, oolong requires water at 95 degrees, while pu'er needs all 100 degrees. Before you start brewing your tea, get your tea set ready in front of you. First of all, rinse the teapot and cups with the hot water. This warms them up and helps release all the lovely tea aromas. Ah, perfect. It smells like pu'er tea, right? So pour the hot water in and toss it out every few seconds.
The first step is making the cups warm. With the hot waters to pour around evenly. Everything should be warmed up before they drop the tea in.
这是温我们的公道杯，这个杯子在茶艺里面叫公道杯，然后接着温品茗杯。
That pot is called one dao pot, and the rest is for the guests to drink.
So now it's to make all cups warm.
Yes.
Warm, clean.
Yeah, warm, not for cleaning, just for warm. Because the temperature will affect how they taste.
After that, the tea master offered us to smell the tea.
这一步叫做摇香，可以更好的去散发它的香味。
This step is for shaking to let the smell. Smell it. Smell it.
打开，对，
跟茶的干香对。
It's a dry smell. After they cook it, boil it, it will be an aftertaste.
Smells like a chocolate.
Chocolate.
Next up is waking up the tea, guys. So in the Chinese tea ceremony, this is known as washing. You pour out the first brew to wake up the leaves. But here is a catch. If you are drinking yellow, green or black tea, you can skip this step. It's recommended to wash oolong, dark tea or pu'er first. Oh, and if you're got compressed tea up to 10 years old, you usually just need to wake it once. But for aged teas over 10 years, like pu'er, you might want to wake them twice. This is because aged teas can get a bit inactive and need hot water to bring out their best flavors again to life. So there you go. Get your water right and treat your tea well for an awesome experience.
Is it pour tea or not?
Yeah, pour.
Pour.
Finally, the tea is brewed and poured into cups, and then you can enjoy it.
这种是非常的方便，用水一冲就可以了。就是它冷水、热水它都不会影响它的口感。
We'll do a pretty good research on it, so no matter what hot water or cold water, they want
对，三个手枪。嗯，这个就生物发酵的手枪。其实它就像一个报纸粉一样的那种感觉。
这个可以说成
开局
加下过。
来，醒一下。
That's it.
Guys, why Chinese tea ceremony is important, right? There are actually several things I want to share with you. If during the tea ceremony you're gonna pour too much tea to your friend or to your colleague or your business partner, that means like fuck you, I want you to leave immediately. So never, please never do such a mistake. Never pour tea until the very end, the edge of the glass, right? So it should be like 80% or 70% or 60%, right? So never again, remember that. Never pour the tea to the edge of your glass, because otherwise the person in front of you, especially the Chinese person, will consider it as an assault, as a literally, because then it means that you want this person to leave and you don't want to talk to this person anymore, right? So this is one of the things that you should know before inviting someone, to impress someone with your Chinese culture knowledge, right? So one detail, but tremendously important, right? While you're drinking tea. And number two, guys, when you're drinking tea as a guest at the business partner premises, so always remember that they will never let you go themselves. So you should really piss them off to make it happen. But remember, they will pour your tea even after 8 hours of sitting in the business room, holding negotiations, right, for business, or just your friends. They will never let you go first, and they will never tell you that you should go. But you should just drink tea, and then you are the first one who stands up from the table. Otherwise, you will drink tea forever, guys. Happened to me a couple of times, until my friend Simon told me that, man, if you want to leave, you just leave. Because otherwise they will see that your cup is empty and they will pour again. They will pour once again the tea. And then for 8 hours we were sitting drinking tea at the tea ceremony and going just eating to restaurant a couple of times. So being polite in China is very important. But also remember that when you're drinking tea, you're the guest. So you should decide when you should leave. So lesson number 2 we learned today, guys. And also, usually they don't put any sugar in the tea, right? So in order to impress the person, or not to insult the person in front of you, especially a Chinese person who is sitting next to you, don't put any sweets in your tea, in your pu'er tea especially, because this pu'er tea might cost 300,000 yuan or maybe 1 million yuan for 100 grams. It may be like 50 years old, pu'er tea. And by adding sugar into this, you might insult the person who invited you for the tea ceremony. So remember, no sweets and no chocolates. no sweets when you drink your tea, right? Tea should be drunk just like pure pu'er tea drinking ceremony, right? Number 1, don't pour to the edge of the glass, right? Number 2, stand up when you're ready after a couple of hours maybe. Once you're ready, just stand up during the tea ceremony and you can say thank you to your partners, but you have to leave and thank you for the tea. Otherwise, you will never leave. Number 3, don't put any sugar in your tea, guys. So those are 3 advices for today. So guys, the Chinese tea ceremony is all about tradition, mindfulness, and finding harmony. It's more than just making and drinking tea. It's a way to relax, reconnect with yourself and with the nature, right? And of course, with your family when you go there and you enjoy it together, right? So it helps you some sort of unite everything together and find your inner peace. And this art, this form of art teaches us to appreciate the little things in our lives and enjoy the very moment, which is refreshing in our fast-paced world, guys. Plus, it holds a firm place in Chinese culture and business settings, which is amazingly important to us. See you again, guys, and thank you very much for being here today with us. It was cool to have you today in our tea ceremony tour around China. Very Venture China. Soon, guys.